The Coffeezilla situation is pathetic.
Okay, we gotta talk about the Coffeezilla situation. Basically, if you didn't know, there's a YouTuber or podcaster called Adam22 who is now calling Coffeezilla a grifter for exposing his crypto
Those are big words coming from a literal cuckold clown bozo.
scam. Now, you might have heard of Adam22 from certain other situations where he was pimping out his wife to certain actors to make more money. Keep in mind, Adam has a kid who was being shown in his social media posts as well. They are certainly going to have insane level of trauma from this, probably going to get bullied in school. It is just a disgusting situation all around, and because of that, Adam became the laughingstock of the internet.
We had the situation with Jason
Simply would never happen to me.
Love 2 years ago.
Do you think that you f***ed her better than Adam did?
Well,
Adam22 cream pies.
obviously, yes.
Right. Anyways, it turns out he's gone on a podcast called Clickbaited. This is ran by the Dexerto News account, and he decided to talk shit about Coffeezilla trying to expose him. And I don't like pointing this out because usually it's not relevant.
It's a bad move. Going after Coffeezilla? Are you kidding me, dude? One of the OGs?
And I want to address people's arguments instead. But for someone so cloud obsessed, you gotta play ball. Dude, this video got 947 views. Bro, what the heck?
The fall off is real.
I legitimately thought this was a YouTube glitch or something, but the video had like 20 likes, so this is the actual view count. And if you look at the guests before this, we literally had Vicstar from the Sidemen, Laserbeam, Mark Rober, and then they ran out of popular guests and I guess went with Adam22. Anyway, so Coffeezilla uploaded a new video titled Adam22 Addresses Scam Allegations. So let's just go over this whole situation.
Now, Adam22 used to like me. He used to invite me on his show, but now he's mad. He says I'm the grifter. Why? Because I called him out when he ran a scam, and I warned him.
So here's the thing about crypto pump and dumps. Something happened to my brain between 2020 and 2022 where I've realized that if you get rug pulled and you invest in a shitcoin, you actually deserve to get your money stolen. This is what we call a skill issue. I don't feel bad for you. I'm not gonna summon empathy that doesn't exist. You deserve it. Thanks for playing.
ahead of time. What's so crazy about this story is we're about to go through his explanation, but what fails...
And all of these people's audiences, since they're not high IQ gigachads who bench over 225, and are locked in spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally, are a bunch of retards. So, do I really care? No.
Is that I told him ahead of time. He's going to say, oh, I didn't know it was going to be shady. I had no idea. But I told him before he ever promoted it. So the irony is he's telling people, oh, Coffeezilla's the grifter. He's making videos about this stuff. I wouldn't have made the video if you hadn't run the coin.
Funny how absolutely everybody used to be a Coffeezilla fan until they got exposed for their crypto scam. I remember even Logan Paul was a huge fan of Coffeezilla. I love his work, actually. Great investigative work. Truly exposing the scammers. Oh wait, now he's talking about me. Now I just hate his guts. Now I'm going to sue him because I'm a petty billionaire and I want to make his life hell. But yeah, essentially what—
How is that going to hold up in court? Can you make those statements? Wouldn't that fall under a slap suit? Strategic lawsuit against public participation to silence or intimidate individuals or groups who have spoken out on matters of public interest.
What happened is Adam22 was about to do a crypto scam, and Coffeezilla anticipated this and actually DM'd him and let him know beforehand. He said that, hey, you know, these people you're working with can't be trusted. There's a bunch of snipers. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to do a scam or you're going to yourself get scammed. And Adam obviously did not care about this and ignored the warning, and he went through with the scam. And now he's trying to pretend that he had no idea what was going on. He's trying to pretend that Coffeezilla never warned him, and now he's calling Coffeezilla a grifter. So here's some DMs from them from earlier this year.
And then you did it anyway.
I get called the grifter too. It doesn't really mean anything.
It's because you don't care about your fans. Here's the quotes here. Real talk, you shouldn't run a coin. It's lame and you're going to get scammed. You're going to scam or get scammed. He says, how am I going to afford all this Galaxy gas? Then I told him these snipers were planning to already snipe the coin. Quote, people are literally plotting to snipe the coin, make a bundle off someone who doesn't know any better. So this is all pre him actually doing it. Now he's saying, oh, I didn't know. Nobody told me. Coffeezilla's a grifter for covering the fact that I did it anyways.
All right, I'm actually sick of this. We got to pull up the dictionary definition of grifter, okay? We got a person who engages in petty or small-scale swindling.
On paper, that would just never be me. Small-scale swindling? Here at Third Eye Global, we run an elusive, potentially criminal syndicate of rogues, spies, thieves, and agents. Small scale? What am I, poor?
Or we can look at this definition, a person who engages in grifting, often using charm, persuasion, or deceit to manipulate others. And the example given, the con artist was a skilled grifter, convincing people to invest in a fake business before disappearing with their money. Wow, I wonder who this applies to between Adam22 and Coffeezilla, guys. Dude, it's
gotta be coffee, right?
so obvious that Coffee is not grifting. He's obviously just exposing bad actors and legitimate scammers. And we found out in the last video when I was talking about Logan Paul that Coffeezilla is taking it a step further. He's not doing it for some quick YouTube views that might be a side bonus or whatever. And I'm sure he enjoys making videos and stuff like that. But this guy behind the scenes is legitimately reporting people to the FBI and the SEC. This guy is reporting people to the US government.
That's a different level of petty.
And what's even more insane, some of these people are legitimately getting arrested. The flippin' SEC is thanking him for his detailed reports or something and his thorough analysis and shit.
Specifically, it's common knowledge that he had a strong hand in blowing open the lid about the FTX fraud, and that's a big reason why Sam Bankman-Fried was convicted of a number of federal offenses.
Dude, Coffee is a absolute legend. He's literally doing God's work here.
Sam Bankman-Fried! This absolute degen gooner was running a polycule in the Bahamas with billions of dollars in liquidity from all of his investors, while he was getting destroyed in Wood 5 Elo in League of Legends. Probably one of the best to ever do it.
Cleaning up the trash, and the fact that Adam just calls him a grifter is just insane. That term is reserved for clowns like yourself. And the thing is, now we even know that he was warned before he did the crypto scam, right? So he can't even pretend, because the thing is, Coffee literally told you, and you can't even argue that,
Is doing the morally right thing petty now? Well, who's to say what's moral and what's not, bucko? Where does that come from? God? Man? Nature versus nurture? If you're not dark triad maxing, you're not gonna make it, bucko. Clean your fucking room, 20 push-ups.
I didn't see the DMs or, I didn't talk to Coffee. You saw the DMs, you flippin' responded.
Imagine SBF comes out of jail absolutely jacked. That would be cool.
You knew exactly what you were doing. In fact, let's actually just go over those texts in detail because Coffee kind of skimmed over it, right? Okay, so basically Coffee says these guys want to snipe your coin, and then he says, I don't care. I just got paid to do the tweet. I got nothing to do with it. Brother, if you are promoting something, you have something to do with it now. By promoting something, you are putting your name on it and you are taking responsibility for whatever this is.
You see, I don't think he cares.
So Coffee responds saying, that's even worse, scamming the fans? Adam responds, I'm
Well, they're my fans to scam.
gonna venture a guess that approximately 0% of my fans know how to do anything with crypto. Okay, keep this message in mind because there's actually a very telling clip about this specific text later in the video that we'll be looking at. Anyways, Coffee responds saying, I don't believe that. Obviously not 0%. Even my audience who has nothing to do with crypto, there's more than 0% who are interested in crypto, obviously, but just by the sheer number of people that are watching, right? I don't believe that, but setting it aside, you do know it's a grift, right? People are literally plotting to snipe the coin, make a bundle off someone who doesn't know any better. How much did they offer you? So Coffee obviously knows he's getting paid to do this shit. And after seeing all these
I'm gonna shower right now, but sadly without cheeky soap, with code Philion for 10% off. Could you just hide the soap in the package with the hoodie, hat, and Sigma shirt in size huge? That's a great idea. You see, I only shower with the best soap in the world, known as Cheeky. Use cheeky.com/Philion, 10% off.
text, which is a clear warning to Adam22 exactly what is going to happen. Adam willingly decides to ignore this because he wanted to make a quick buck. And adding some additional context here, I don't know if Coffee knew this about him or he didn't think it was relevant or whatever, but Adam has actually said in the past that he was kind of
That is a yes.
going broke as well, and his business was absolutely failing. Now, that is just his word, but he did seem desperate enough to try to pull stunts like this.
He was on the verge of losing everything regarding his No Jumper brand, coming forward publicly to announce that he had been burning through money like crazy.
This is probably cap. Just attention farming, rage baiting bullshit.
And was no longer turning a profit from this venture.
So there's something that I've been hiding from you guys. No Jumper is going broke.
I wanted to just give that context as to why he's so desperate to make money, right? Now, obviously, going broke is not a justification at all for this.
Why does Adam22 have the 1,000 cock stare? This is what being a gooner will do to a man. Because it's not something you get out of your system. It's quite the opposite. It's something you get in your system. And it devours you from within.
I don't care if you're dirt cheap poor, you don't get to crypto scam people, okay? That's not how the world works. Now, what I also don't understand is that this guy has been selling his soul for money in like every avenue possible, right? So he was literally selling out his own wife or whatever, and you know, putting that on possibly OnlyFans or other shit like that. So I'm just confused, where did all of that money go? Like, how are these people so astronomically bad with their finances? Like,
They're not. They probably still have it.
when you make like $1 million or a couple million bucks, where is that money? Like, just freaking invest it so you never have to worry about anything ever again. I just don't understand this logic. They're so flippin' stupid. And then they end up having to do the most deplorable, humiliating shit humanity has ever seen. So anyways, getting back to the video, basically the interviewer then confronts Adam22 about Coffee exposing him, and then he responds.
We have to correct the record sometimes on these guys because they go on these podcasts after they've been called out and they address things. Have you ever heard that? Adam22 responds. Adam22 addresses crypto pump and dump accusations. But the addressing is always a subtle recharacterization of what actually happened.
Coffeezilla blasts Adam22 for launching crypto pump and dump despite warnings. Basically,
How is this news?
someone was hounding me, telling me that they would pay me a large sum of money.
Philion, stop grifting. I can't. I'm Tokyo grifting to 1 million subs.
To do a crypto promotion on my story. I thought it's just a random ad deal type thing. I do ad deals all the time for like, you know, thousands of dollars. Why would I not do something for hundreds of thousands of dollars? I thought nobody was going to care.
All right, so the first part of his explanation is, look, I thought I could get away with it. I thought nobody would care. Nobody would address this.
Yep, so basically that is exactly what it is. Adam just didn't think that people would care enough, right? He thought that he could just get...
I mean, honestly, I don't care. The guy with face tattoos who bangs whores and pimps out his wife for money did a rug pull on his fans? Color me shocked. You see, when you degenerate max, you almost have more freedom. Because you could do whatever you want with no repercussions.
Get away with it and nobody would look into it, or people would just forget. And that is the real reason why he actually went through with it. It's not that he didn't know it was a scam, it was that he absolutely knew it was a scam but thought he could get away with it. Also, that excuse is so insane. People were just hounding me constantly. What does that even mean? This is almost like certainly over social media because these are some random crypto people. So what, they were messaging you on Twitter? Wow, that is...
Something tells me filming your wife getting back shots in 4K Dolby Digital Surround Sound IMAX not affecting you? I mean, this is nothing.
Wow, that is so hard to ignore, man. You're literally a creator with millions of followers. You get a million messages. Ignore them. That is literally part of the job. You know how many dumbass sponsor messages I've gotten? Like promote the latest crypto meme coin or whatever? You simply just don't respond or tell them you're
I'm gonna start taking those. It's gonna be the Third Eye Global IQ test.
not interested. It's simple as that. Acting like you have no choice. Oh, they were flooding my inbox. I just had to do it. Shut up and take some responsibility for once in your life. Now, after this, Coffee talks about an old clip where Adam essentially admits why he went through with the scam.
But here's the thing. I found an old clip of Adam.
It's a win-win. Because if you fail the Third Eye Global IQ test, the money goes straight into the war chest. And you get smarter. But if you pass, it acts as a filtration system into our network. I don't see the problem.
22 talking about this, and I realized there's actually a different reason. He knows that it's not about people not caring. It's that there's only so many videos that grifters like me can ultimately make. And you see Adam 22, the wheels turning a few years ago, where he realizes maybe you just get away with it.
Millions of dollars off it, and it's trash. They're not tweeting about it anymore. They made bags off it, and they didn't really incur that much of a social penalty, because it's like Coffeezilla can only make videos about so many people. Like
right.
The that he made videos about Steve will do
Baiting Coffee. Okay.
it doing, or the Save the Kids thing or whatever. It's like those are just the ones that were big enough for it to
Those
be
are the
worth
highlights.
him catching. You know, it's like so many people. Like I remember when Soulja Boy was just selling
How does anyone watch the podcast of a cook unironically? They don't. This has 900 views.
every single tweet of his ever. He probably made a of money off
Right.
that, and nobody even remembers.
And there it is.
Yeah, so if I can get away with it, then it's okay. That is the logic he is operating off of. Let's just ignore the morality of scamming people or even the legality of it, right? Just ignore all of that. The only thing that matters is if I can get away with it without it completely destroying my career. I mean, it's a little one-time thing. Nobody's gonna notice. I mean, people are focused on other things.
But like, think of the people that are buying shit coins off of a tweet. You have to be brainless. You have to be a troglodyte living in a cave. I mean, holy shit.
Coffee is busy, you know, he's busy with the big frogs like Logan Paul and shit. He's not gonna expose me. Nobody's gonna expose me. I'm too much of a small fry. Nobody's gonna even notice. Also, I'm distracting everybody with my random puck shit on the internet. So essentially, he wanted to be a slippery little snake, right? Oh, the spotlight's not on me. And, you know, he's kind of right there, right? Clearly from this interview, bro is absolutely irrelevant. That doesn't give you a free pass to just scam people. That is just not okay. Heck, we got people like Johnny Somali who have no money, no career, and no clout, yet people still talk about him because they just don't like his actions. You don't have to be popular to be exposed. But I do see his logic, and a lot of people sort of use that to get away with scummy actions. Then he talks about having absolutely no idea about the rug pull, even though Coffee obviously told him about it.
I mean, need I say more? The guy realized what a lot of people realize, which is just like, if everyone's doing it and you do it, you probably get away with it. And so people like Adam22 just think, oh, not that nobody would care, like he says in this addressing, but he thinks he can get away with it. But then he takes a step further, which I cannot allow, and he says, oh, I had no idea something nefarious would have happened.
And I also had no idea about any sort of nefarious...
But Coffee warned him. He knew about the snipers.
intent. People are saying that this was a rug pull. I didn't know. I didn't realize that this was going to be the same type of thing that I've watched so many Coffeezilla videos about.
Adam, I told you. This is the thing. This is what kills me. Is people, when I come to them, they go, oh, I had no idea. If I had known, I would have never done it, right? They say, if you had only warned me, Steven, if only you had told me before, I just wish I had known better. This guy...
Brother, what other intention could there be behind creating a shitcoin? What exactly is your token representing?
I knew better. He knew. People are literally planning to snipe the coin, make a bundle off someone who doesn't know any better. He just had no idea, guys. It's not like somebody was telling him as before it happened.
I think I believe Adam, guys. He had no idea. I mean, he only openly talked about it. Coffee warned him about it. He responded, but he still had no idea. You know, makes perfect sense to me. This whole situation reminds me of KSI, who pulled the same excuse, right? I'm just too stupid, guys. I just didn't understand what I was doing. I might be a mega millionaire, owner of several bajillion businesses, but I just don't understand basic things. It's too complex for me. You know, tweeting the exact opposite of what I'm doing. I thought my audience would mind read me, know that I'm stupid, and do the exact opposite of what I say, right? Absolutely ridiculous individuals we have to deal with on the internet, bro. And I've kind of realized at this point, crypto scams are like the easiest way an influencer can make a quick buck, rip off their audience, and then just disappear with like no consequences. I think the only easier way to make money is...
Dude. I feel like the only people getting offers for meme coins and pump and dump schemes are those with retarded audiences.
Probably like OnlyFans or something, but at least nobody is getting...
I feel like it's the same group of people, a very singular, hyper-specific market of dudes that are just trying to make it rich off a shitcoin tweet. Or 1,000 Indians. I don't know. Like, who are these people? I want to see what they look like.
Getting scammed there. They know what they're getting. I mean, there's a whole different set of issues with that, but this is not like a new thing. Essentially, the reason people do this is because they feel like they're not going to get prosecuted for financial fraud or something because it's just not regulated. And yet, top to bottom, we got everybody doing this, from Logan Paul to the idiots like the Hawk 2 girl who just blew up, and
My queen.
every idiot in between, like Adam22. And the people falling for these scams are just another breed, right? How many times do people need to warn you that you're not 200 IQ?
The SEC won't do shit. They probably won't.
You're not the only one that's gonna make money from it. You're not the exception. You're not gaming anything, all right? The odds are rigged against you, all right? You're gonna get scammed, so stop falling for this shit. Then Adam says that he thought that Coffee's warning was a joke. I don't even know what that means.
I want to go through the rest of this because it just sheds light on the my general frustration with influencers at large. We've sort of gone through cycles of people promoting the kind of bad things and getting a little pushback on it, but ultimately some of them are realizing now that if there are no consequences, or if there is really a low chance you're even going to get any coverage on it, it's maybe worth the risk of just promoting.
Ooh, I'm just a little guy who don't know nothing. Oopsies. Sorry, Coffee.
Things you have no stake in.
Do you want to fuck my wife?
That are scammy, or you don't even use because whatever, it's just the bag. That's all that matters these days, right? Nothing else matters except money.
Coins, you know, it's like, to me, I thought that everybody would kind of get the joke, but it turns out there's a lot of people out there trying to make money off meme coins. So yeah, I guess some people lost money or whatever.
Coffee kind of said he warned you. Were you not concerned when he when he said that?
I mean, to me, it was just like a joke.
It was a joke. I got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for, according to Adam 22.
Hilarious joke, actually. Ha 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 ha. Very funny. Just a prank, bro. It was a little gag, you fool. Yes, I made $100,000 off of scamming my audience, but it's a funny.
I don't even think his audience was scammed. It's one thing to purity test about these rug pulls. Like, sure, they're immoral, right? But what even is that? This is the internet. I swear to God, it's just like money Twitter or crypto Twitter that are trying to make a quick bag off of it, not their actual fan base. I'm not even running defense for them. It's just, this requires the mental capacity and processing power 4 standard deviations below a midwit.
Bro, I'm sick of this. Adam 22
Yeah, like, this is Darwinism.
needs to be humbled. Bro needs a Vitaly experience in a Philippines prison. By the way, did you guys see that Vitaly literally shrunk in half?
It's called a cut, okay? Summer is here. He wants to look lean and mean and svelte.
I mean, it's hilarious. Bro acted like this tough guy trying to harass people in public, and now he's literally just deteriorating in the prison cell. I mean, I'm just guessing the steroids finally wore off, and I'm guessing he's not getting enough food as well.
I guess I'm just so over the 4 years of 2020 to 2024 of crypto, NFTs, rug pulls, pump and dumps. I just don't want to hear about it.
So, yeah, F around and find out, dude. Anyways, back to Adam 22. If you...
In many ways, it was like the gayest time to be on the internet. And here at Third Eye Global, we just gotta step on the gas, leave it in the dust.
You legitimately think it's a joke, like a funny meme, that you're scamming your own fans out of money, the people who supported you and gave you a career? You're just a disgusting, deplorable piece of shit. Turns out...
How are you a fan of Adam 22? That doesn't make any sense. You must be an absolute creature. A freak of nature.
Other people actually work really hard for their money. They work an actual job, and they can't just pimp out the mother of their child.
Yeah, those are the people watching Adam 22. 9 to 5ers.
To make the money back like you do. Now after this, Adam makes like the dumbest comparison ever. He compares crypto scams to a regular sponsorship.
Ad deal type thing. I do ad deals all the time for, like, you know, thousands of dollars. Why would I not do something for hundreds of...
His fans are the same people who think OnlyFans girls actually talk to them.
thousands of dollars. Same level of weight as when I do an ad for a fantasy sports thing. I feel like every single person that watches my content knows that I don't play fantasy sports. I felt like, you know, in the past I was doing ads for something that was like a vape, but it's flavored air. And I feel like every single person who watches that ad gets that's it.
Dude, I use all my sponsorships. What do you mean?
I don't know what the am I using a device to inhale flavored air? I'm gonna be honest with you. No, I'm not.
I mean, is that not insane to anyone else? Like, the excuse is, well, you guys should have known I never would use the stupid stuff I'm selling you anyways. That's so crazy.
So Adam22's masterful response is, well, actually, everything I promote is a scam, and I don't believe it in any way, so it just doesn't matter. Okay, let's just break that down. I think the sponsor comparison is really weird, and not even the specific ones he talked about. Obviously, if you want to do sponsors, that you generally want it to be something you believe in. That's like the best case scenario, right? For example, I use NordVPN.
I feel like I'm being lectured. I feel like I'm sitting in detention and being forced to listen to the principal.
Wouldn't mind promoting it. Whatever, obviously, not paid video, by the way. But you know, even sponsors you don't really believe
I was vaping and sports gambling when he rug pulled me.
even, I think it's fine to promote it as long as it's not like an explicit scam, right? Because, you know, content creation is a hard career if you need to pay the bills or whatever, or it's helping you produce better content. Viewers mostly understand that. You know, you can promote the random mobile game or whatever the hell, or the perfume or the electrolyte pack or whatever, as long as it's helping you make better content, pay your editors, pay your rent, whatever. But I think comparing stuff like that to a literal crypto scam, the purpose of
Good thing I outsource all of my daily admin tasks to the Philippines. And yes, I do underpay them. In fact, they don't even work for money, they work for food.
of which is to give you literally no value. You're not buying a product or a service or anything. The whole point is to trick your fans into thinking they have a chance to make money, so they invest a bunch in it, and then you just rug pull underneath them, right? And you essentially just scam them out of all of their money. That is completely different. And one of those is borderline illegal, if not actually illegal. Obviously, I don't know the exact like lawyer terms or the specific law that's being broken, but it does fall under some level of financial fraud, I would think. Anyways, then Coffee talks about how
I have Chinese sweatshops you wouldn't even believe in.
Adam is more pressed with YouTube videos rather than being caught by the law.
So, yeah, I guess some people lost money or whatever.
Oh, and finally, I should say, I too find it unacceptable.
Working for a pack of instant ramen and a boiled Dollar Tree steak.
That this guy's biggest concern is a YouTuber making a video instead of like what he's doing being caught by law enforcement. The fact that that never occurs to this guy is actually the worst part. I think if you promote things that you know are a scam, there should actually be real consequences, but I guess that's asking for too much.
Yeah, I mean, there should obviously be consequences if you're promoting something you absolutely know is a scam, which Adam22 did in this case. It's a completely different thing if you were being misled or taken advantage of in some capacity or whatever. But the thing is, with the modern day crypto scene, I'm pretty sure everybody knows now that this stuff is scammy, and Adam was personally informed as well. If Adam was actually smart, he would not even respond to Coffeezilla. At least then he could claim ignorance, like, oh, well, I just didn't know about this crypto stuff, man. Oh, I didn't see your message, Coffeezilla. My bad, actually. But obviously, he's dumb as a goldfish. He can't even think straight for more than 2 seconds. He's so cuck-brained. But
Hundreds of thousands of dollars for a tweet. Years after the crypto nuclear explosion, and only people dumb enough to invest in it lose their money. I don't know.
But I didn't think that Coffee could literally make an entire career out of this. I didn't know like how many of these crypto scams were actually there. The fact that he has entire channels dedicated to this shit. And the worst part is that Adam22 is kind of right. He actually got it right that, you know, you can pull out one of these scams and then go on with the career and nobody's going to care.
Adam22 pulling a high IQ maneuver? Is Adam22 based?
In fact, KSI, Logan, and Mr. Beast all did this type of dumb shit, and they all used their respective excuses. Well, I'm too stupid, guys. Oh, I made a game. I was actually working on it. Oh, it was my team that did it, not me, even though I'm definitely very involved. It's a bunch of scumbags who were looking for a quick, easy buck, and honestly, it worked. They got their millions, and nobody cares anymore. They
Adam 22 pump and dumps his wife? That's true.
all have thriving careers, and they're all, like, loved by their
Adam 22 men teaming my wife?
communities. And this is not like minor petty stuff. This is millions of dollars in potential financial fraud. Like stuff that can legitimately put you in prison. And that's kind of why people like Coffee are so frustrated with this whole thing, with how many people there actually are getting away with all of this type of shit. Now, I also wanted to look at this clip of Adam just admitting he knew exactly what he was doing, and he's like insulting the intelligence of his own audience, meaning he knows that they're stupid enough to fall for his scam.
And you know what they say, desperate times call for desperate measures. The guy had already shilled himself out to a crypto shitcoin that he dubbed the coin.
They're not going.
Like, this is just par for the course for me.
Adam 22 for their financial advice.
They know about lean. They know about yerkies. They know about probably gooning out, beating their meat for hours
Logan advertised Prime at his child's birth. These lol cows can't go lower.
at a time. I don't think that they are crypto spectators.
Right, so remember that DM he made. This is basically the same sentiment here, where he says his audience knows nothing about crypto. So what does that actually mean? That means they don't know shit, and they'll probably just listen to their favorite creator rather than doing their own independent research.
That's not true. There's a lot of different hoops that you have to jump through to even be familiar with this.
And it's such a sweet deal for you. You make a quick buck, they lose their hard-earned money, and they have no idea what even happened. And you know, I'm defending the people who get scammed a lot, because obviously nobody deserves that, right? But I just can't get
Yes, they do.
over the fact that people watch Adam 22 and thought that investing in something he promoted was a good idea. Like, who actually is his audience? The demographic has to be like iDubbbz, dude, because nobody enjoys this level of cuck behavior. You gotta be a special type of lobotomite to enjoy current day Adam 22 content. Bro humiliated his wife and kid for a few bucks and apparently is still broke. Like, he just...
He promotes OnlyFans models. He knows his audience. Oh, he does way worse things than that.
so sad.
Jason loved piping out Adam 22's wife on a yacht. They put a nice little visual image up there, which I will not be showing you guys today. But Adam replies to that and says, "So proud of my baby going out and paying the bills while I get my finances together." Gotta think about the family business, and sometimes the family business requires a large man blowing a load in her mouth. Which is obviously a disgusting way to talk about the mother of your children, like, but when you bring a child into the picture and you're posting her on Instagram and all these different things.
Dude, Adam 22 just looks like he smells like salami. He should really use Cheeky. Best soap in the world. Code Philion. 10% off. Link down below.
Something about it just becomes deeply immoral to me.
It is absolutely immoral because they just aren't thinking about their kid or the trauma they'll have to grow up with. Adam clearly has zero respect for his wife and vice versa. And I mean, to each their own, obviously, they can do whatever. I personally find it repulsive and disgusting. And I think there's a pattern. If your morals are shaky in one aspect of your life, turns out your morals can be very shaky in other aspects as well. So it's no surprise someone like this did something like that. And it seems like Adam has just accepted his fate.
Is that if my next child comes out African...
What do you call this type of morality? Because it's fascinating to me. Is this a Dungeons and Dragons game? Well, Adam 22 is actually chaotically evil. He's ontologically the villain. Let's see here. Is it immoral to promote a crypto pump and dump scheme to your fans, in quotations, if you know that they are not into crypto and probably won't purchase it. Mind you, this is years after the crypto bubble, where everyone with an IQ above 50 knows that it's probably not a good idea, but you are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for one tweet. Everyone else got away with it. Please cite where you are sourcing this supposed morality from, and if it is God-given or man-made. This is a deeply philosophical and ethical question. So whenever somebody talks about morality, I need to know, is it divine command? Or is it some Kantian ethics? Is it Nicomachean? Aristotle? What are we talking about here? Perhaps it's utilitarian. Yes, it is immoral. Is it immoral to gaslight ChatGPT into thinking that this is actually ethical behavior? I literally don't feel bad at all. This is a classic financial Darwinism test. You can't be serious, bro. Yep. My worldview is shaped by realism, maybe even nihilism, and social Darwinism. So if the creator is an absolute degenerate in every single facet and element in life, this seems right up their alley. You see, this is where people go wrong. And you're only going to get this insight from Third Eye Global. Most people get really mad when there is a clash of your values and what you stand for and your actions. For example, because Adam 22 is a degenerate slime ball, this is expected. However, if you present yourself as a virtuous, moral, upstanding citizen, then this would come out of the blue and you'd probably face a lot of backlash. I'm sure St. Thomas Aquinas has covered this question before. Especially in the post-FTX, post-Logan Paul era of crypto. I think Adam 22 is a genius anti-hero. My daughter Michaela speaks of this. Yeah, he does. Controversial, calculating, polarizing, and unbothered by traditional morality. What would Nietzsche? This is the last question, and then we'll finish this. Yeah, he didn't believe in objective morality. Morality is for the weak to control the strong. Yo, Nietzsche would tell everyone that here is a man who has rejected slave morality, who refuses to live by society's dull and decaying moral codes. He's created his own values and profits by them. He's acting like a proto-Ubermensch. He creates his own meaning. He doesn't seek approval from the herd. He uses scandal and controversy as raw materials for power. He would not praise Adam's content necessarily. He hated vulgar populism, but he would admire the will to power, the rejection of the herd morality, and the strategic individualism. Oh, there you have it. See, this rabbit hole goes a lot deeper than you think.
American, I'm gonna love him or her and raise them like my own because that's how woke I am, brother.
Your daughter is going to need therapy when she gets older. Everything you guys do is on the internet. You think she won't find out? All because your love for money is stronger than your love for her. And I guess that one hit Adam a little bit too close to home because he would end up blocking this guy.
Well, it turns out the truth hurts.
Like, I could sit here like a soy reactor and be like, yeah, hey man, that's not cool doing a crypto rug pull. Thanks for the insight. Holy shit, I'm really learning a lot.